guys, Nick's here, and today I wanted to speak to you about a book I have just finished reading. So this will be my first little book review, and it's not going to be really long as I'm no expert in the matter, but I wanted to share with you my thoughts on this particular book called Hater. And boy was I surprised by this book, and in a very good way. So when I went to the bookstore to buy a new book, I had never heard or even seen this book before. So I was just hanging out in the horror section of the English books because I live in a French-speaking place. So the English section doesn't have that many books usually, but this book was right there, and I saw the cover and it had an appeal to me. It was just written Hater in red and with blood all over, so I was like, hell yeah, let's take a look. So I checked at the back of the book and read the little summary behind, and it looked quite good. So I decided to buy it and I went to reading, and I was really surprised in the first few pages about what was being written. The story was pretty good. So I will be giving you my little opinion on the book and telling you a little bit of a summary and stuff like that. So spoilers ahead, obviously, so if you don't want to know too much about the story, maybe this video is not really for you, so let's go on ahead. Alright, so what is this book about? Well, right off the bat, there's a scene described where an everyday normal guy, working class dude, just seems to go crazy for some unknown reason. We don't know why. He goes just crazy and attacks an old lady, like she's 80 years old, and he just attacks her. He thinks for some reason that she's a threat to him, and he really needs to kill her. Like it's a basic need of survival. So to survive, he needs to kill this woman, and the only weapon he finds is an umbrella. So he decides to go and stab her with it until she's pretty much dead. And when people come to stop him, because obviously he's crazy and he's outside and there's people all around, so they stop him and he just decides to run away and doesn't want anyone to go in his way, and he thinks now that everyone else is a threat. So he's in danger and everyone's a threat. So on the first few pages you get explained this crazy little story, and we shift straight to another person. So the narrator changes and we get the point of view of the main character of the story. So the first little story I told you is just like a side event that happens in the main story, and our main character called Dan is a father of 3. He's been with the same girl for about 10 years. He works in a call center, and his life seems pretty boring actually. And he noticed the event, and he finds it crazy, obviously, and he tells the event to the people at work, and they all are pretty surprised about it. And when he comes back home, he tells it to his loved one, and she's pretty surprised about it as well. But as the days goes on, like on the next day, on the news there's a report of many different attacks, and there's an increase in violent attacks similar to the one that he noticed. At first they don't really care about it, because it could be like coincidence that there's a small increase in violent attacks, but he witnesses more and more attacks, and he finds it pretty strange. And on the news the increase is getting higher and higher, and people start to panic, and there's a big sense of fear in only a few days that is felt through society as a whole. So everyone is like in a sense of panic and fear that everyone is going to become either a killer or be killed, because the attacks are not targeted to anyone in particular. Would it be old, young, any race or religion? People attack whoever is a threat to them, and we don't know why they're a threat at all. So that's it. So everyone fears everyone. No one wants to go out and work. No one wants to go out to their groceries or anything. So everyone fears everyone, and it's panic everywhere. So basically the story is how people deal with this fear, and especially the main character. We see through his eyes how he wants to protect his family and his loved ones through all this chaos. So basically, for a summary, that's pretty much it. I'm not going to tell you more than that. See through the book for yourself, and you're going to enjoy it. So let's talk about some other points in the book. So as I said, in the book the author is really able to express a strong feeling of fear and paranoia, since anyone can kill or be killed. You never know who is safe or who will become a killer, and everyone is in fear of everyone else. The source of all the chaos is unknown, so it's hard to know what to expect, and it's part of the fear. No one knows why it's happening. The book's length is about 270 pages, so it's quite small, and there are many chapters. There's about 42 chapters or something like that, so it's about 6 pages per chapter, and often in between the chapters you have a blank page. So if you cut all of the loose stuff and blank pages all throughout the book, it's almost like a 200-page book. So it's pretty quick to read, and the action is really fast-paced, and personally it's something I like. I don't always enjoy like thorough descriptions and things that drag on for too long, so that's a point I really appreciated. So the time lapse of the book from start to end, like if it were a story that would happen today, is of about 2 weeks, something like that. So it's pretty short, so it happens on a pretty short time. The language is also really easy to understand. I'm not a native speaker of English, as you can hear by my accent, and I had no trouble understanding everything in the book. I studied in English, so normally I'm pretty much perfectly bilingual, but I would understand that someone who's not perfectly bilingual would have not too much trouble understanding the whole thing. So that's a really good point. Also, another strong point I feel is if you're not native to England, you will learn new expressions probably, because the book takes place in England, and the author I believe comes from England. Probably, I haven't done research, but I would believe he comes from England since the book takes place there. And yeah, so if you want to learn the language a little bit better and improve, you definitely should be picking this up if you're interested. The writing is not centered on descriptions, as I said, and in-depth analysis of every character. It's more focused on the action and the progression of the story. Okay, so as you can tell, I really enjoyed this read, and it's the first in a series of 3 books, so I'm probably going to go and pick up the 2 sequels to this series. And this book was supposed to be adapted as a movie, but it seems like the production never took off, since the book came out quite a while ago, and the rights to make it as a movie were sold pretty early, so I don't think we're going to see it anytime soon. And anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the small summary and review of this book, and I highly suggest once again that you go and pick it up. It's one of the best discoveries that I found recently in my readings. So I wish that you'll have a really great day, and I'll see you on the next video. And don't forget that if you like these kinds of little reviews and videos, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment. Goodbye!